بيان حكم من يتلفظ بلفظ الكفر بغير سبق لسان. Clarification of the rule of anyone who pronounces an expression of blasphemy without a slip of the tongue. وأنه يخرج من الإسلام, which is that such a person goes out of Islam. إن كان غير مكره بالقتل ونحوه, if he were not forced, compelled, coerced, under death threats or the like. وقال تقي الدين السبكي, تقي الدين السبكي وهو ممن قيل ببلوغ درجة الاجتهاد, and he's amongst those about whom it was said that he reached the level of ijtihad. He said, Inna inkar al-qat'i kufr. Indeed, denying what is definitive in the religion is blasphemy. What has definitive evidence? Denying what has definitive evidence is blasphemy. Like when someone has wrong belief in Allah, that's qat'i, definitive. Or wrong belief in the Prophet, or any Prophet, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, kufr belief. Or a wrong belief about Islam, like if someone believes that a religion other than Islam is okay. All of that is against what's qat'i, definitive. Inna inkar al-qat'i kufr. Indeed, denying the definitive is blasphemy. Things that can be known without learning, no, it's not the same thing, because there are things that you can't know unless you hear them, and they are definitive, like the obligation of the 5 prayers, and the obligation of zakah, and hajj, and fasting. Those are amongst definitive matters. He said, Inna inkar al-qat'i kufr. Indeed, denying what is definitive is blasphemy. ولا يشترط أن يعلم ذلك المنكر قطعيته. And it's not a condition that the denier knows its definitiveness. ثم ينكر, and then he would deny. فيكون بذلك كافرا, and then that's how he would be a disbeliever. على ما يتوهمه الخائلون, according to the way the delusional people assume, according to the way the assumers delude. بل يشترط قطعيته في الواقع. Rather, it's merely enough for this thing to be definitive in reality, to really be something definitive. Intaha, end quote. So what if someone says to you, 5 prayers are not obligatory? So what do you say? I'll tell you what you say. You say, that's kufr. Don't say, did you hear about that? Tell them, that's kufr. وما أشاعه بعض الناس كسيد سابق عن مالك وبعض عن أبي حنيفة. And what some people have spread about Malik, like Sayyid Sabiq, and what some have spread about Abu Hanifa, من أنه إذا كان في المسألة 99 وجها بالتكفير, that if a single case had 99 ways to see it as blasphemy, ووجه واحد بترك التكفير, but one way to see it as not blasphemy, فينبغي للمفتي ترك التكفير, then the judge, the one who gives the verdict, he should abandon judging it as blasphemy. ليس له مستند. This has no source. Here what the Sheikh is saying, I don't know how to explain this. It's clear for me up until here. إذا كان قيل إذا كان في المسألة 99 وجها بالتكفير. Some claimed about Abu Hanifa and Malik that if a case had 99 ways to deem it as blasphemy, ووجه واحد بترك التكفير, and one way to not deem it as blasphemy, فينبغي للمفتي ترك التكفير, then the one who gives the verdict should abandon deeming it as blasphemy, ليس له مستند. This has no source. Up till there, it's clear for me. Then Sheikh says something here, it's not clear for me. Until here. ثم من المعلوم عند الفقهاء أنه لا عبرة بكل خلاف. Furthermore, what's known to the scholars, to the jurists, is that not every difference in opinion has regard, like we said before. It's not simply because something was said that it's regarded. Yani, even if you assume that some statement came from really a reliable scholar, it's not just because he said it that you should take it. إلا خلاف له حظ من النظر. You should only give regard to a difference in opinion if it is a qualified difference. These words, له حظ من النظر, that's not easy for me to translate. Hazz is a share. It has a share of nazar. Nazar means consideration or regard. Looking. It has a share of looking. So what it means is no difference, not every difference is given regard, only a difference that is a qualified difference that comes from qualified scholars with correct process. كما قال القائل, like the sayer said, وليس كل خلاف جاء معتبرا إلا خلاف له حظ من النظر. This line of poetry, not every difference that came is regarded, only a difference that is qualified. Very loose translation. وإلا لجاز للشخص أن يأكل ويشرب في رمضان إلى طلوع الشمس, or else it would be valid for a person to eat and drink in Ramadan until sunrise. لوجود من قال به من المتقدمين, merely due to the existence of some of the early trailblazers who said that. ولا صح أيضا الأخذ بقول من قال يجوز وطء الجارية المملوكة بإباحة مالكها لغيره. And then it would have been also valid to take the saying that it's permissible to have sexual intercourse with a slave woman merely by the permission of her master. وَكِلَا الْأَمْرَيْنِ لَا شَيْءٍ, and both of those are nothing. Both of those sayings are nothing. وَمِنَ الْمَعْلُومِ أَنَّهُ لَا عِبْرَةَ بِالْخِلَافِ بَعْدَ الْإِجْمَاعِ. And amongst what is known is that there is no regard given to dissension after a consensus. No regard is given to dissension, difference in opinion, after a consensus. Like what? Like in the case of Qibla in the United States. There's already consensus that the people of the north, their north of the Kaaba, their Qibla is the south, and the people of the south, their Qibla is the north, and the Qibla of the people of the people of the west is the east, and the Qibla of the people of the east is the west. That's ijma'. So when some people found themselves north of the Kaaba and west of the Kaaba, was not valid to say we're going to face northeast. That's a valid difference in opinion. They went against the ijma'. فلا يظن ظان أن هذا من المسائل التي اختلف فيها. So let no thinker think that this is amongst the cases that's different about. What are we talking about? We talk about someone saying kufr without his tongue slipping. He said what he meant to say. He's not crazy. Nobody forced him. And he knows what the words mean. He's blaspheming. This is not something different about. But he doesn't know that he's committing blasphemy, though. He doesn't know the judgment. He's still blaspheming. This is not a matter that's different about. Sheikh says, Aqul, I say, al-muqarraru fi kutubi al-Hanafiyah, what is verified in the books of the Hanafis, anna man takallama bi kalimatin laha wujuh, is that if someone said a word that has more than one meaning, أي معان بعضها يقتضي الكفر وبعضها لا يقتضيه. Someone says a statement that has different ways that it can be taken. It can be taken in different ways, and some of those ways dictate blasphemy, and some of them don't. حكم عليه بالوجه الذي لا يقتضي الكفر. Then he's going to be judged. He's going to be given the benefit of the doubt that what applies to him is the way that's not blasphemy. إلا إذا قال أردت الوجه الآخر. الآخرة. This is another type of word. MashaAllah. Unless he said, I meant this way, the kufr way. فليس للمفتي حينئذ أن يفتي إلا بالتكفير. Then the one who gives the verdict would have no choice in this case but to judge with blasphemy, that it's a case of blasphemy. وأنه تبين منهم رأته, and that his woman will be separated from him. This is Hanafi school we're talking here. So what they said about someone saying something that can be taken in more than one way, that can be taken in more than one way, and some of those ways are kufr. One or more of those ways is kufr, but not all of them. So we're not going to deem him as a kafir unless he said, I meant the kufr meaning. We agree with that. If he said, I meant the kufr meaning, then he will be deemed as a kafir. The one who gives the verdict has no choice here but to deem him as a kafir. No disagreement here. وَأَنَّهُ تَبِينُ مِنْهُمْ رَأَتُهُ, and that his woman will be separated from him. Here there's slight detail because the Hanafis, they say by his mere blasphemy, his marriage contract is final, is done, is over. It's over. No detail. She starts her iddah. They need a new marriage contract, whether they consummated or they didn't consummate. That's the Hanafi school. According to the Hanafi school, if you commit blasphemy, your marriage is done. It's over. You need a new marriage contract. That person has to come back to Islam too, immediately. And you need a new marriage contract. According to the Shafi'is, there's a detail. Did you consummate or not? If you did not consummate the marriage and then one of the spouses committed blasphemy, then their marriage is done. It's over. But if they did consummate the marriage, then their marriage is suspended, according to rules we learned before. Their marriage is suspended if the person comes back to Islam before the iddah is over, then they're still married. It's deemed that they never stopped being married. The rule would be that they never stopped being married. That's Shafi'i school. But Shaykh is quoting Hanafi now. So that's why it's just here like this. He's saying what's in the Hanafi books. All this is common, but here about separating from the wife, there's some details that they differed about. وَمَثَلَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِذَلِكَ بِمَنْ قَالَ, and some of them gave an example in لَا أُرِيدُ الصَّلَاةِ, someone saying, I don't want to pray. قال فإن أراد أنه لا يريد الصلاة لأنه قد صلى. So they said, if the one who said that means he doesn't want to pray because he already prayed, فلا يكفر, he does not blaspheme. وكذلك إن أراد لا أصلي لقول من قال له صل يا فلان. And likewise, if he meant, I'm not praying just because he told me to pray, فلا يكفر, also he does not blaspheme. أيضا also, وإن قال لا أريد الصلاة لأنه متكاسل, and if he says I don't want to pray because he's lazy, فلا يكفر أيضا, then he doesn't blaspheme also. وإن أراد لا أصلي لأنها غير واجبة علي على وجه الإنكار لفرضيتها. But if he said, I won't pray because it's not obligatory on me, كفر, he blasphemed. وعزى بعض الحنفية هذا إلى الإمام محمد بن الحسن صاحب الإمام أبي حنيفة رضي الله عنهما. Some of the Hanafis have attributed this to Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hasan, the disciple of Imam Abu Hanifa. May Allah accept their deeds, both of them. Aqul, Shaykh says, I say, Man ja'ala hadha al-amra mutlaqa, whoever makes this issue absolute. فأراد أنه لا يكفر الشخص إذا تلفظ بألفاظ الكفر. And he means that a person does not blaspheme if he pronounces expressions of blasphemy. فقال واحد هذا كفر وقال آخر ليس بكفر وكان القائلون بتكفيره عددهم تسعة وتسعون وكان القائل بعدم تكفيره واحدا إنه يؤخذ بقول الواحد مع كون الكلمة المختلف فيها لا تحتمل إلا معنى كفريا واحدا فقد افترى على دين الله وخرج من الإجماع. Okay. أقول, Sheikh says, I say, من جعل هذا الأمر مطلقا, whoever was absolute about this issue, فأراد أنه لا يكفر الشخص إذا تلفظ بلفظ الكفر. And he meant that a person doesn't blaspheme when he says an expression of blasphemy. فقال واحد هذا كفر. So one person said, this is kufr. وقال آخر ليس بكفر. And another one said, it's not kufr. وكان القائلون بتكفيره عددهم تسعة وتسعون. And those who said that it's kufr, there were 99 of them. وكان القائل بعدم تكفيره واحدا. And the one who said it's not kufr was just an individual. إنه يؤخذ بقول الواحد. So if this one is saying, absolutely, always, we take the saying of this one individual who said it's not kufr. مع كون الكلمة المختلف فيها لا تحتمل إلا معنى كفريا واحدا. Although the word that they are differing about doesn't bear another meaning, it only means one blasphemous thing. فقد افترى على دين الله. This person has lied on the religion of Allah. وخرج من الإجماع, and he has departed the consensus. That's haram. وقد ذكر ملا علي القاري في شرح الفقه الأكبر ما نصه. Mula Ali al-Qari mentioned in the explanation of Al-Fiqh al-Akbar, quote, وقد ذكروا أن المسألة المتعلقة بالكفر إذا كان لها 99 احتمالا للكفر. He said, they mentioned that the case is related to blasphemy. If it has 99 ways to be blasphemy, واحتمال واحد في نفيه, and one way to not be blasphemy, فالأولى للمفتي والقاضي أن يعمل بالاحتمال النافي, then it's best for who gives the verdict and for the judge to go by the way that doesn't have to be blasphemy. That's different. It's not the same thing. Not talk about how many people said it's kufr, how many people said it's not kufr. That's not what Mullah Ali al-Qari is saying here. So he said, they mentioned that the case that's related to blasphemy, not how many people are saying it's blasphemy or not. They mentioned that the case that's related to blasphemy, if it has 99 ways to be blasphemy and one way to not be blasphemy, then the best for whoever gives the verdict and for the judge is to apply that it's not blasphemy. Intaha. End quote. Yes, that's right. The other way is wrong to say, if there were 99 people who said it's not kufr and one person who said it is, if there were 99 people who said it's kufr and one person who said it's not, then we say it's not. That's wrong. Shaykh says, هذا هو المعروف الثابت عند الفقهاء. This is what's known and confirmed to the jurists. وقد نقل معناه عن محمد بن الحسن في لفظ يحتمل 4 معان. And he logged what means this about Muhammad ibn al-Hasan, about an expression that can be taken four ways. وأما ما يقال إنه إذا كان في المسألة 99 قولا بالتكفير. But what some said, what was said, the wrong thing that was said, that if a case has 99 votes for being blasphemy, وقول واحد بتركه وقول واحد بتركه, and one vote to not deem it as blasphemy, أخذ بالقول الواحد, then that single vote to say it's not blasphemy is what's taken. فلا أصل له. This has no source. عن مالك ولا عن أبي حنيفة. This has no source from Malik, nor does it have any source from Abu Hanifa, ولا عن واحد من الأئمة, nor from any of the scholars. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam, and Allah knows best.